Alright, well this is where I got so far. I've got the body mounted on there. You can see it. I got the front wheel centered because that's where you're going to get the most articulation, and the back wheel is a little offset. So I'm probably just going to trim this fender all the way off and then kind of round it up to make it look centered. This body has had so many holes in it and everything else. It's just going to have to do. So I'm just going to trim up here, trim this back to make it look like it's centered. Maybe I can add something up here. I don't know. And then we'll repaint it. I had to drill some more holes to get it to fit. I'm also playing with the front bumper idea. This was the bumper that came on the Remo Hobby, and then I got the metal Injora bumpers, so I think that looks pretty cool on there. And it's still got plenty of clearance up front for your approach angle. I don't think that's going to get in the way. So let me get the body off. This was just sitting on there for now. And how I did the body, we'll stick that over on the crawler for a minute. I just mounted two body posts on the middle part of the shock, and then back here I mounted one of these X body posts on the back. These were actually the posts that came off the Remo Hobby as well. Remo seems to be donating a lot of parts, but it's getting a hard body, so we don't need these posts anymore. Or I'll do magnetic body clips, something like that. I don't want any holes in the new Remo hard body, so took these off, stuck this underneath the frame. It needed to be a little higher in the back because this cage slopes down. So again, I just mounted it in the shock location, ran a screw through there. It seemed to work out pretty easy. No complications. As far as electronics, I've got my power button all the way at the back here. I've got my ESC and receiver in this box. And then I have my battery cable going up the left-hand side. And then I've got my motor wires going up the right-hand side. My servo wire is a little bit short. It reaches. I needed to leave myself enough room for flex up here. So I'll probably add a servo extension, but it works for right now. That's the only reason it's not black or, you know, wrapped in tape or anything. I like to keep everything hidden as much as I can, but it is all together. The battery tray worked out perfect like we thought it would. Sits right in there, and with the way we're mounting the body, I've got clearance. It's just held in with a Velcro strap on the angle bracket that we put in. I did have it out the other day. It crawls pretty good. I don't have a rock course here at home, but just on some little stuff, some wood and some busted up cinder blocks that I have, it seemed to do okay. I had a stripped axle up front, the locker. It was a plastic locker that was stripped, so it was only one wheel spinning, but both of those are fixed now, so it's four-wheel drive, so everything seems to be nice and tight there now. Haven't done any adjustments on the shocks or anything yet. I think these shocks are probably, or the springs at least, are a little bit stiff. So I might try to find some different springs, or maybe even take these external springs off and put internal springs in. Not sure yet. But we're going to run it like it is. It's not horrible, but it's not as spongy and pliable as the Amazon cage crawler. So, you know, it's a different vehicle. You got to set things up different. Went ahead and mounted the Red Cat Gen 7 wheels, since we're running the Gen 7 axles. All in all, the only thing that I really got new was I bought the transmission new, and the drive shafts are new, and the ESC, the 1080 programmable crawler ESC, where you can set the drag brake and all that, that is new. As far as the cage was used. I got it on a trade with some things I did with Scott. I've looked on eBay. You can get the 1.9 cages for around 50 bucks. The crawler, the Red Cat Gen 7 axles, you know, you can pick them up used for $20 or $30. Wheels, everything was pretty much used. Now, the servo up front, it's not very old. It's a 20 kilogram that we like to use. We've tried a couple digital. I will probably buy a digital servo for this, for the simple reason that I don't know that this can handle the 7.4 volts. Actually, right there it says 4.8 to 6.8. So I have the programmable ESC. I do not have it on the 7.4 for this servo. So we'll see how this one does. We might upgrade to the programmable or the higher voltage servo up front because we can. Other than that, it's together, guys. So we'll try to get a run video on it. Got a lot of feedback from the last video with the Herbie the Love Bug and the motorhome. Seems like you guys are interested in seeing both of them built, so that's cool. So this guy's ready to go. Let me know your thoughts and any questions you have. This was not your typical Wraith build. This is not how most people build Wraiths, so I think it's a little different. We're putting a body on it, like a full Jeep body, so you don't see that a lot. I'm going to try and work on the front bumper mount. I just have these two posts hidden in there, so I knew how long my stanchions needed to be to get the bumper out front past the front of the body. So this is all still in the mock-up stage. I'm probably going to have to make a bracket that mounts these four areas to tie this together to stiffen it up, and then I can put my stanchions on, because this has the SEX 10.3 or 10.2 mounting holes. So if I make a bracket on there with two holes in it, I can adjust this in and out and then just put the screws in there like you do a SEX 10.2. So we'll get a run video on this guy and let me know what you guys think. I will put up at the end of the video every part that I bought, whether it was one that I already had used, like the servo and the shocks, the motor, the transmission. The motor I've had for probably a year, and just it didn't work on any other projects, but it worked on this one. The ESC, I'm not going to include the Fly Sky receiver just because everybody has their own receivers and controllers and things like that, so I'm not going to include that in the price. But I will put every part on here that we used. I totaled it up the other day. Let me look on my phone here. I believe I have it. The cage, I just estimated at $50. The wheels and axles, I estimated at $20. I got that a long time ago on a trade with some stuff. The ESC, the 1080 ESC was $43 new. The Endura shocks were $23. The drive shafts were $16. The 35 turn motor was $16. The metal transmission was $35. The 20 kilogram servo was $15. And the Red Cat front servo mount was $13. So total, if you bought everything, was $236.97. Now, I did not spend that much because, well, technically I spent that much, but not all at once, because I already had the 20 kilogram servo. I already had the 35 turn motor. I already had the Endura shocks. I had an extra ESC because I bought two when I bought them. And I already had the wheels and tires. Alright guys, well that's it for the Wraith build. She is done. The body just needs to be trimmed. I'll try to have that done before we do the run video. And I think it came out pretty good. We'll see what we can get this thing to do and get it out on the trails hopefully soon. I need to get the Amazon crawler out as well. It is completely done. It has all the new metal axles. I had to wait. The reason I've been waiting on this is these aluminum axles did not come with the screws that hold the diff cover on. I had the ones for the front because of the front mount servo axle, or the front mount servo. Axle mounted servo, there we go. It came with screws, but there were no screws that came with the aluminum housing or the cover or anything like that, so I had to order those. Trying to find out what they were and how long they were took me a while. In case you need to know, they are M2.5 by 16. If you just need diff cover screws for an SCX 10, 2, 3, something like that. So hopefully we'll get some run videos. I've been building on the bench here for months. I'd like to get out and have some fun. So as soon as it's not crazy hot and raining every day, we've got plenty of things we can do run videos on. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching.